What's up, everyone? Welcome to today's daily market recap. In today's episode, I'm going to break down all of the trades from the morning, but I have to start by saying, let's pause the music. See, here's the problem. Had my biggest red trade of the whole month today. I'm a little off my game. This all actually goes back to yesterday. So something happened yesterday. I saved someone's life. And I think that kind of went to my head a little bit because my first trade today was just, my first couple trades were terrible. So let me get you caught up so you kind of have perspective. So here's what happened. So yesterday afternoon, I had to bring my dog to the vet. So we're on our way to the vet. She's in the back of the car. I'm driving. I come to this intersection and I'm at the intersection. I see this other car approach. And as the car approaches, I notice that the hood of this car is just slightly open. You know, it's just like unlatched a little bit. You know how when you pull the latch, it'll pop up, but it doesn't open? So I noticed it's open a little bit. And I thought, well, that's not safe. Anyway, so she turns and she starts driving down the road and I start following her. Well, I'm not really following. I mean, I'm following her, but just because we were going the same direction, of course. As she pulls into a farmer's market, and I think, maybe I should say something. So I pull in behind her and I say, excuse me, I noticed that your hood is just slightly unlatched. And she said, it gets out of her car. She looked, she said, my God, you're right. She said, thank you. You know what? You might just save my life. And I thought, saved your life? Wow. Now, look, I don't think of myself as a hero. I mean, I don't labels. If that's the word that you would use, this is the thing. You know, they always say heroes don't think, they just act. And in that moment, I was like, it's my duty. You know, I took an oath, when I got behind the wheel of this car, to keep a lookout for other people. So, so that kind of like, all of a sudden I'm like, wow, that was amazing. So that was yesterday. And then this morning I sit down and I'm looking at the scans. I'm looking at some of these stocks moving. And you know what, let's just start with a pop quiz. All right, so we're gonna get into a little pop quiz here. So right here, is this a setup that you should buy? Okay, so I saw this setup this morning. I looked at this stock and I saw this thing is squeezing up. It's pulling back right here. I should buy it right there, right? Wrong, not even close. That was a mistake. What's the mistake? Forgot to check the MACD, moving average convergence divergence indicator. It's negative. That indicates the stock is not likely to break out, and it did not. I lost $6,000 on that false breakout. That was my first trade of the day. Rookie mistake. Wow, what's going on here? I'm not focused. All right, I slow down. I take another trade. Let's fast forward. Okay, so coming up right here, should you buy this setup right here? This is a pop quiz. Is this a setup you should buy? What's the answer? No. MACD is negative. You should not take this trade. What happens? It pops up, dramatic rejection. That was ugly. High volume rejection. Okay, so now the stock starts moving a little bit more. Here we go. This is a really good one. So now, pop quiz number 2. Should you take this trade right here for the breakthrough 8? The MACD is positive. High volume green candle could get a breakthrough 8. The answer is no. This stock is not trustworthy because of these previous false breakouts. So it ends up tapping 8, it pulls back. We can't trust it. And then all of a sudden, look at this. It tries one more time, and look, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I said, I'm not being fooled. And then all of a sudden it goes to $9. Are you kidding me right now? What in the world is going on? So I felt a little frustrated, to say the least. And I did get back in this. Once it broke and held over $8, once it held resistance, I said, all right, if it's holding, I'll get back in. So first trade of the day right here, lost $6,000 and then made back most of it right here on this squeeze. So right now I'm sitting up $23,326.26 on the day, but I'm down $500 on HMR. This was not an easy stock to trade. In fact, that was my biggest red trade of the month right there. I couldn't believe how fast I lost $6,000. The problem was I got in at 790 for the break of 8, and then immediately it flushes to 750, and I stopped out and got slippage on the exit. I got out at like 730. I mean, I lost like 70 cents a share on this thing. It's unbelievable. Then it comes back up and does it even bigger. So once a stock has given you kind of these types of big red flags, unfortunately, they're just not trustworthy. So did it end up going higher later? Yeah, but I only traded with smaller size because I just felt like I couldn't trust it. So HMR got my day off to a rough start. And then I switched gears to WOK. I could barely even say it. I'm so upset. This stock has done a complete round trip. You want to take a guess where this company is from? China. All right, so the company's from China. Now, here's the problem. We've seen a number of Chinese stocks do this. They'll give us a huge squeeze, and then it's like a full liquidation. It just gives it all back. So classic China stock up on no news whatsoever, and I really didn't even know if I wanted to trade it. So here's the way I approached WOK. So we're coming up to 7 a.m., and I look at the chart, and I see, obviously popped up, dropped down, popped up, dropped down, popped up. So right here, I got in at 7 a.m. for the break through this pre-market high, because at that point, it was the most obvious stock to trade at 7 a.m. Even though it had no news, I just thought it's the most obvious. I think traders are probably going to jump on it. So I'm going to take a trade. So I jumped in this right here for the break of the pre-market high, and we got a squeeze from about 420 up to 480. First trade, made $5,000, $5,500 to be exact. So now I'm only down 500 on the day. I'm like, all right, well, that was a nice recovery. All right, so it ends up dipping down here. We got first 1 minute candle to make, sorry, this is a 5 minute chart. Let's jump back over to the 1 minute. All right, so on the 1 minute chart. So here we go, let's break this down. So first trade, and let's see, I'll give you a little pop quiz. All right, so pop quiz. All right, so let's look at this setup right here. WOK, pop quiz. Should you buy this setup right here? Now we've got a stock that's squeezed up 2, 4, 5 green candles in a row, 1 red candle, 2 red candles. High volume buying, light volume selling, MACD is positive. Yes, this is a setup I love. I took the trade, boom, $6,000 of profit. That was solid. Currently sitting up $22,176 on WOK, but that was where I broke the ice with my first trade, right there going into 7 a.m. Now it pulls back a little bit. It comes back up, boom, here's another setup. This was a little bit tricky. Topping tail here, topped here, it pulls back, and when it came back up here, I was not sure it was gonna work, but I took a stab at it for the break of 480. Pop quiz, is this a setup that we should trade right here? Well, MACD is crossing over, volume is picking back up, and we're looking for a break through resistance. What's the stop? Around the $0.50, 450. It ends up breaking, squeezing up to 515, 520. Pulls back, drops quite a bit, is not able to break through 520. MACD goes negative. It dips down quite a bit, and then all of a sudden, it's going to rally back up. The problem here is this was really tricky. Yes, we got some nice trades. I had a really nice trade right here buying that pullback. We could zoom in on this one right here. So if we zoom in on this, what's the setup? All right. So here you've got a stock with a pre-market high of about 530. It has just popped back up on high volume. MACD is positive, and this is the first pullback right there. That for me is an entry for the breakthrough the new high, and boom, we got it. We got a squeeze right there from about 505 all the way up to about 540. I was hoping it would break through 550 and go straight to 6, but I still got a nice trade on that breakout right there. Then it goes sideways, pulls back a little bit more, and then at the open, it tries one more time. And so my first biggest disappointment was the first trade today. And the second one was this setup right here. There was a 100,000 share seller at 6, and it sort of pulls back, it pops up. I got in right here, and then it drops down. I averaged down, I added to it right here. It comes back up again, and I'm looking for it to break 6. It couldn't break, and I stopped out right there. And I just was really bummed because I was like, that was just such a nice ABCD pattern for the pullback, the pop, the pullback for a breakout. Just a huge wall of sellers. And then unfortunately, the selling just didn't stop. It just kept going lower and lower and lower. So this is a real drag. I just don't like seeing this, but I'll say there's a couple things about this. Yes, it's a medical technology group, but selling medical supplies, that's not a biotech stock. And the other thing about this is that it's a Chinese stock. So we just know, unfortunately, this is not uncommon with Chinese companies. And here you just get that total liquidation day. It's a high volume day, nearly 100 million shares of volume, and it's just a lot of selling. So, and then I got a trade on JTAI, little bit of continuation here, kind of tried to curl back up, pulled back, curled back up again. I traded both of those moves, but didn't make much on it. I was hoping maybe we would retest yesterday's high, but it just wasn't able to do that. So all in all, today, kind of sloppy, a little bit, just off my game for a variety of reasons, some of them very good reasons, but just a little off my game today. And, trading a stock against the MACD on HMR at the beginning, that was not smart. And then WOK, just maybe I was a little bit too aggressive. But sometimes that's exactly what can happen is you start the day in the red, for whatever reason, and then you're immediately going to be a little bit more aggressive because now you're like, I've got some extra work to do. Not only do I want to still have a good day, first I've got to make up that loss. So I think that all prompted me to be a little bit more aggressive. Now, this is a market where, the market's been pretty forgiving. We've been having some nice moves. So being a little aggressive, bordering on a little revenge trading, when you've got stocks going up 100, 200%, well, it can work. But in a cold market, you got to be really careful because that same habit can result in you snowballing. Next thing you know, you're down 8 grand, 10 grand, 15 grand, 25 grand. It can get bad. So right now I'm trying to focus on consistency, stay green, not overstay my welcome. And you know what? As soon as I got up over 20,000 on the day, I was like, that's it. You're done. You got what you needed today. $20,000 a day. I'm now at 80,000 on the week. 100K is the goal for the week. Even though it's a short week, I still set the same $100,000 goal. And if I could do $20,000 tomorrow, I'll be there. So that's going to be, that's what I'm aiming for. We'll see if it happens. Because today was a little slower, I don't know if it will. JTAI being strong yesterday afternoon, I think that kind of carried over a little FOMO into today. But right now, we don't have anything that's like super strong this afternoon that's worth getting excited about. Now, I'll also say XOS, this is a bit of a regret as well. So it popped up and then I didn't trade it pre-market. And then at the open, it squeezes into a halt. And I was just like, I don't know. And anyways, it goes all the way to $10. I don't take a single trade on it. So they'll go with or without you. I just felt like I couldn't break the ice. And the next thing you know, I didn't want to chase it and had kind of had that close call on the false break of 6 on whatever it was, WOK. So I just a tough, kind of tricky day. I missed a couple and left some money on the table. But all's well that ends well, and lives have been saved. All right, so that's it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the recap. I hope you hit the thumbs up. Reminder as always, trading is risky. My results aren't typical, so please manage your risk, take it slow, and I'll see you guys back here bright and early tomorrow morning. And by the way, if you haven't checked out my episode I uploaded earlier today on my DAS Trader platform demo, you can check that out. I'll put that right there.